Hey guys, did you know that I have a Patreon where you can support me and plus get awesome rewards? Or if you're thinking to yourself, but Julian, I want even more bang for my buck while still supporting you, you can pop over to my Redbubble and check out my awesome store with new designs appearing regularly. But for now, enjoy the video you're about to watch. Hey guys, it's me, Julian Greystoke. I'm here with my shitty lighting and my cats to make a video today. Today I am wearing my Fight Like a Girl shirt, because we are just here today to talk about one of my favorite things, and if you don't like them, you can fight me. Fight me. Fight me. Today we're here to talk about fan theories. Little known fact about me, I love fan theories. I don't care if they're not true, I don't care if they're unsubstantiated, I don't even care if the creators actively come and tell me that that fan theory is false. That's not what I like. I just like hearing and coming up with new and interesting fan theories about all kinds of things. Today we're just going to talk about some of my favorites that I thought of and wrote down. These are the ones that I could think of on short notice, because as usual I just randomly decided to do this. So the first one on this super weird list is that Mary Poppins is a time lady. Those of you familiar with Doctor Who, Kinshu is here. All the cats are in the room with me today. They're very excited about this. Those of you familiar with Doctor Who probably know what a Time Lord is. And those of you who aren't, a Time Lord or a Time Lady are time travelers that fly through space and time. There's a fun theory going around that Mary Poppins is also a time lady, and I just love this idea. She appears out of nowhere when she's just like summoned by these children. She carries this valise that's considerably larger on the inside, and she has these sort of almost magical powers. Plus she's got a companion in the form of Bert, who's like super excited to see her again. So I am all about Mary Poppins, Time Lady. Here's another one that I enjoy. Those of you familiar with original series Star Trek will remember a character called Trelawney, I believe. Should look this up beforehand. Who is this mischievous, sort of powerful, wizardish guy that the captain and Spock run into. And a lot of people have pointed out the similarities between him and Q, who appears in The Next Generation. And again, I know it's not true, but I am on board for this theory of Trelawney as a Q. It just makes too much sense to me, and so I definitely am in favor of that. I feel like I need to keep telling you guys that I know these theories aren't true, but just assume that I understand that going forward, okay? Now I'm going to share a couple of theories that I came up with, or at least to my knowledge I came up with. Other people may have also thought of them. Can't you get away from my water? She wants to get cat hair in my water. The first theory that, as far as I know, I came up with is from Firefly. In one of the weirdest episodes of Firefly, we encounter a character called Jubal Early, who speaks in a very odd way, but definitely has some abilities and is a threat. He's dangerous and odd. You know who else on that show is dangerous and odd? River. My theory is that Jubal Early and River actually have a lot in common. I think that he was an early prototype of what River is. I think that the Hands Blue guys also got into his brain and tweaked a few things, trying to make a River-esque person. And they got some results, but they also got a guy who is very strange. Very strange. And possibly just not as smart or dangerous as River herself, so that's why I think he's an earlier prototype. Now it's time for another theory that myself and my friends have kind of bandied back and forth. Now, if you're familiar with Disney's Mulan, you probably know that it's the story of a girl who disguises herself as a man and goes to war so that her father doesn't have to. My theory is pretty simple. Mulan doing that fucked everything up. You see, when they came to bring her father back to war, they were not going to put an experienced older soldier like him with a battle wound back on the front lines. No! They were going to take him and his undoubted knowledge and make him the leader of these new troops. He was going to train them. But instead, who shows up at the camp but his son, Mulan, who is useless to them in that regard. But the general is like, you know, my son has really wanted to be in charge of a unit for a while. Let's put him in charge of training the new recruits. And that's how we got Li Shang, who is arguably not actually that good at his job. Get out of here. He's pretty new to it, that much is obvious, which begs the question, why would he be training these all-important new recruits? Well, that's because he's not supposed to be. And so this just gets the ball rolling and sets us down the path of near disaster that it is because Mulan just didn't let her dad do his job.
Hey guys, it's future Julian. I just remembered a couple more fan theories that I've come up with. They're just really small Disney theories. The first one being that before we got the explanation from the live-action Beauty and the Beast, I had an explanation for Belle's origins. My theory was that her mother came from money, and Belle grew up at least until like 5 or 6 years old, possibly older, with that mother and having money, and then when the mother died, they either ran out of money because Maurice used it all on his inventions, or possibly something else untoward happened to the money, and they had to go live in a poor provincial town, which would explain why Belle is kind of snobby about the villagers in that town, why she and her father keep themselves separate, and why she seems pretty comfortable living in a castle. So that's the first one. The second one involves Cinderella, the whole shoe thing with the prince riding out to ostensibly find the maiden that fits the shoe. I think that the prince knew that he would definitely know her when he saw her, but he was just using the shoe thing as like a publicity stunt. It was this whole big romantic thing. He's like, oh man, the people are gonna eat this up if I pretend I have to find the lady by trying shoes on everywhere in the kingdom. Plus, it lets the prince tour the kingdom before he gets married, get to know people a little bit more as he rides around from house to house trying this shoe on people. But he knows he's gonna recognize the girl he danced with as soon as he sees her. So that's my theory, is that the shoe thing is all a publicity stunt. Now back to your regularly scheduled video.
And finally, last but certainly not least, we are going to talk about my favorite fan theory of all time. And of course, it has to do with Mass Effect, because Mass Effect is where my heart is, forever. Of course, I'm sure if you are familiar with Mass Effect, you have guessed it, that is the indoctrination theory. Oh boy, I loved the indoctrination theory with all of my heart and soul. The videos that people were putting out, they were so in-depth and they made so much sense. There was so much evidence.
Now, of course, I got so excited about this, I forgot to explain the theory. So Mass Effect, for the uninitiated, is a series of 3 awesome games. Some of them I like better than others, but they follow this character of Commander Shepard as she leads this team of misfits through the galaxy trying to save the day from these horrifying creatures called the Reapers that can do this thing called indoctrination, where they basically brainwash you through these powers that they have and turn you into a zombie, essentially. Now, many of us fans were not terribly pleased by the ending that we got in Mass Effect 3. I know, what's new, fans are upset, but the ending that we got was just so... It felt like no effort was put into it, and so we were upset, so we came up with this beautiful theory to explain pretty much everything in the ending, which is basically that Shepard has been indoctrinated this whole time. But it is a lot more complicated than that, so please go check out the videos I have linked below if you are interested.
Now, I know the creators of Mass Effect basically spat all over our beautiful indoctrination theory when they came out with their extended cut ending. A few people still tried to make the indoctrination theory work with that ending, but I knew at that point that our darling indoctrination theory was not to be. However, I still love it. It is still a theory that is so close to my heart. It was so well thought out by fans, so well researched. It just... mwah. If you are a fan of the Mass Effect series and haven't heard too much about it, go ahead and watch some of those videos because the fans really put together some great evidence for the indoctrination theory. Don't worry about it not being true anymore. Just go out there, just enjoy the theory and the effort that was put into it. Let it flow through you. Does that make sense? It doesn't make any sense. So there you go, guys. Those were my favorite fan theories. What did you think? What are some of your favorite fan theories? Comment below and let me know. I post new videos here Mondays and Fridays. All the links to my social media are in the doobly-doo. And remember, if you like what you see but you wish it was higher quality, you can always support me on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. All of your support from Patreon goes towards saving up for better equipment. And I will see you again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye!
What's up, everybody? It is shout out time. Time to shout out to my very first patron, Kim. And if you want to be cool like Kim, become a patron over on Patreon.